Welcome back to the Lucid Living Experience. This is your host, Universal Consciousness, appearing to you now, playing the role as spiritual life coach Kfir Benyamin. Today I want to share with you a topic. I see that this one particular video has gotten a lot of views, and that's the video about time travel. And it's also the video on parallel reality shifting. And so I see a lot of people asking me a lot of questions about this. I get a lot of calls. So I want to clarify a few things that I haven't clarified in that video. The first is that there is no such thing as time. Yesterday is not happening now. Tomorrow isn't happening now. Now is all that exists. And if now is all that exists, what does that mean? It means that all possibilities exist now, in this eternal now. Why then do we experience linear time if there is no linear time? So based on observing myself, I realize that time is a perception. Only when we observe time do we experience time. If we are busy doing something, or we are fully engaged in a conversation with someone, or in an activity with somebody, or just in enjoying being in someone else's presence, or in the presence of a beautiful scenery, we are completely free of time. We don't feel time. Time can go extremely slow or extremely fast. Either way, we don't feel it. So the reason why we experience time in a linear way is because we perceive time to be linear. So it creates the illusion. The mind then creates a distortion, a lens over reality, giving us the illusion of linear time. But when you look for the future, you can't find it. No one has ever seen tomorrow. Because when tomorrow comes, it will still be like you're looking for tomorrow, so tomorrow can never become now. It's always tomorrow. So you'll never see it. You'll never see the future. It's impossible because there's no future. The past is just a memory in our mind, just a thought. The future is also a thought. In other words, it's an abstraction. It's not actually what reality is. We don't even know what's going to happen in 5 minutes. How can we possibly know what's going to happen tomorrow or in a year from now? It's impossible to factor everything because there are infinite things to factor, infinite variables. So, there is no time. The way I understand time, I'm not saying that this is exactly the way time is, but the way to make it understandable is picture the now, okay? Picture this is the now. And there are layers of infinite possibilities going up, higher levels, higher vibrational levels of infinite possibilities, and lower vibrational levels of infinite possibilities, which all exist in this present moment, in this eternal now. It's, in other words, it's not like a motion picture where the pages, where the screen, not the screen, what's the word? The frames. You see? If I just be present and let my mind do its job, it instantly gives me the answer. It's not like the frames are moving in a linear direction. All possibilities, all possible frames that could exist, all exist in one present moment. And we access any one of these when we set our intention, when we embody the feeling, and when we let go and have faith, we then shift into any one of these frequencies. To be honest with you, it is actually so simple. It's a lot simpler than I thought it was. If you simply have faith, and you let go, and you just trust that it will happen, you don't even need to know that you are everything. If you just have faith, things will manifest. It's not hope. Hope walks through the fire, and faith jumps right over it. It's not hope. It's faith, which means trusting. Now, it helps a lot to know that you are the universe, to trust the universe. If you don't know that you are the universe, you don't see the connection and the relationships between you and the environment and everything else, then it's a little difficult to trust the universe because you feel like a victim of the world instead of the world. So simply set your intention to whatever it is that you want to manifest and have faith that it will manifest and let go. Don't worry about it. That's it. And if you let go and you are fully present in the moment, you're not thinking, there'll be nothing that will block you. Because the limitations in our mind can only affect us when we're thinking. So how do you do that? How do you live your whole life every day and not think? Well, nothing's wrong with thinking. The problem is identifying with thoughts. And when you identify with your thoughts, instead of your mind working for you, you end up working for your mind. And that becomes really bad. A lot of suffering happens as a result. What does that mean? It means you don't identify with the mind. You don't identify with the thought I. You identify with that which perceives the thought I. Awareness. That which is aware of thoughts, but is not a thought in of itself. That which is aware of emotions, but isn't an emotion. That which is aware of sensations, but isn't a sensation. That which is aware of experiences, but isn't an experience. It just is. Always here, now. The now is the Tao. In a nutshell. So, you're not shifting through time, because time is now. You're simply shifting through infinite possibilities that always exist here now. What does that mean? What that means also, what I'm implying here is that reality doesn't have a creator because energy of consciousness cannot be created nor destroyed. And therefore there is no creator, but rather that what people would religiously call God, the religious term, right, for God. God, or a scientific term being the 0-point field, is existence, everything. Consciousness. Because everything is consciousness. It's scientifically proven, and we can feel it. It's not something that you have to go believe just because scientists discovered it. You can actually feel it. It's here now. How do you feel it? You don't, like, people ask me all these kind of questions, what is a technique? And it's fine. It's fine. I understand, because I also did not know how to do it. I also went in with my questions. But the truth of the matter is, there's no technique. There is no teaching. No teacher, no student. When it comes to awareness. Because you are always aware. The one who wants to discover universal presence is present all the time. So what do you have to do? If anything, if there is a method, it would be relaxation, which is not something that you need to do. It's an undoing. It's a being. You relax It's like really like an exhale. Into being. You breathe in, and there's a pause in between, whether you are conscious that you're doing that or not. There's a little pause in between the breaths. The more you become conscious and mindful of your breath, it brings you out of your mind into presence. And then you get so deep into presence that eventually your breath disappears. And there's nothing. There's no thoughts. No thought I. Nothing to identify with. Problems dissolve. Everything dissolves. Just peace. Joy. Happiness. Love. Feeling of abundance. Of life. You see, we have this misconception that we have life. Let's analyze that sentence. Because we create phantoms, we don't realize it. We have life. If I say I have life, who is the I that has life? Is there an I that's apart from life? No. I am life. We are life. We don't have a life. We are life. And life can never be relinquished. So death is a joke. Because the moment something dies, it is instantly reborn as something else. It's instant. The same moment that it dies, it's instantly reborn as something else. There's no such thing as death. Life and death are really non-dual. They're both the same thing. In fact, everything is like that. But we've been conditioned to look at it in separate ways, to use our mind, to put it into boxes. When you remove the lens, distortion, you see then, this will happen the deeper and deeper you go into presence. You don't even see it, you feel it. No separateness, no time, no duality, no separate self. And that's where the magic happens, because that's when you're totally let go. That's the total surrender. You totally surrender to this moment. And then, whatever your intention was, is instantly projected out into the universe. There's nothing filtering it. There's no limiting beliefs because you're not thinking. And it's instantly manifested. There's nothing holding it back, nothing holding back. And you're not anticipating anything because you're not thinking about a future. You don't know of any future. We never actually knew of a future, you know that? That was just the whole story we made up in our head. Or of a past. We have memories, they're just thoughts. But it's gone. Vanishes into thin air. Everything I say now appears now and vanishes. All that's left of it is a memory. Just a thought. And the future is also just a thought. It's actually funny, you know. We never would discover this. It's almost impossible to discover this unless you sit and observe your thoughts. To realize what they really are. And how we mistaken them for reality. Here's another thing that's really important. There's no problem if you want to play around with form. The reason why I posted the link magic on my website is because it's fun to play with forms. The only problem is when you start to think that you need these forms, you need these things, you start getting attached to these things. Because here's the thing. The only way you can get attached to something, there needs to be something to be attached to. In order to create an attachment, you need to have a person there. So you create this not a false image, an incomplete image of yourself. Very, very victimized image of yourself in your head. And you attach all kinds of stuff to that image. Your status, your possessions, your relationships, your past, what you want to project out into the future, what you want to do in the future. But the present moment is almost completely left out. We're none of these things. We're none of these things. If this moment contains infinite possibilities, and we have the free choice to do anything right now, we can only do that when we're conscious, not when we're in our mind. Because when we're in our mind, we're running on our subconscious programs. We're actually 95% subconscious, only 5% conscious when we're running on our mind. But when you go deep into consciousness, that 5% goes up to 100%. Then you enter what's called the lucid state, like lucid dreaming, but this is lucid living. So it's fine if you want to play around with form, you want to play around shifting into other parallel realities, it's fine. But something else you should be aware of is the Mandela effect. And I'm not just talking about the Mandela effect with big companies or books, basically anything that commercialized. I'm talking about Mandela effect even on a personal level. Well, not really personal because there's no person there, but something like stuff that even has nothing to do with big companies. You can start seeing changes. They're not good or bad. They're just things change. Interestingly enough, your perspective of the change, if you include your friends in the shift, they will shift too, because we're all one consciousness. That happened to me, and I didn't know exactly what happened, why my friend shifted with me, but my friend is me. And what happened actually is, now I don't exist, first of all. There is nothing here, no thing. Consciousness is not a thing. Consciousness shifts from reality to reality, billions and trillion, infinite. I can't even say a number. I don't want to give you a number. Every moment, every time we are shift our focus elsewhere, what we focus on begins to expand. We start shifting into these parallel realities, and it seems like a movie almost. Like it looks like it's actually happening, and there's really cars moving here, but they're just frames that all exist now. And consciousness, through the mind, which is consciousness in motion, and the heart, energy in motion, emotion, is able to move through these frames and make it seem like we're moving through a continuous reality. Very interesting. Now, I don't actually know that for certain. I'm going to be honest with you. That's a theory. But then ultimately, guys, I just want to make this very clear that in lucid living, there are no theories. I don't want to let you hold on to any concept of anything. These are theories, and it's good to observe them, and it's good to think about them, but then let them go. Because you don't need to hold on to anything. The whole point is just to experience it. Don't try to understand it. Play around with form. You might, if you're going to hold on to one concept, first of all, reality is not a concept. Reality is infinite, and because it's infinite, there's no way we can conceptualize it in our minds. So whatever theory or concept that we have, it's not going to be the ultimate truth. It can be very close to the truth. It can be a very good way to give our mind a good idea of what the truth is. But we know what the truth is without trying to understand with the mind. We know it through direct experience. Consciousness being aware of itself right now. So I'm not here to give any abstractions. I'm not here to give you any new beliefs. What I like to talk about is what's happening here now. Because that's all that exists. So I hope this answers a lot of your questions about time travel. You're not traveling through time. There is no such thing as time. Time is now. That's time. What is time? Time is now. And what is now? Now is the Tao. What is Tao? Tao means the nature, the isness of what is happening now, of reality, the nature of existence in the eternal present moment, the harmony. So shift to any reality that you want. Just have an intention and you can shift there. Just let go of your thoughts. If you're going to keep thinking though, I'm telling you right now, your thoughts, your limiting beliefs will get in your way. And it's fun to play around. Just play around. See, you'll find out you're not who you think you are, really. Like everything that we thought we were, we're not. If this is like doing, as you keep doing these things, you start to say, this is incredible, man. It really just shows that we're nothing, any of this image stuff that we had of ourselves is we're like multi-dimensional, infinite light, beings of light. We're human. Hue meaning all the colors, meaning light. All the colors of the rainbow put together is light. Human being. We're a being. Our natural state is to be. We're not human becomings. We're human beings. Meaning that the most natural state for a human is to be. What does be mean? It doesn't mean sitting and going home, although that's nice and that's fun too, to do that sometimes. It means that if you don't need to talk, don't talk. If there's no need to think right now about anything, then don't think. Just enjoy the moment. Live fully now. If there's a need to use your mind when you need it. If you need to talk, now it's necessary to talk. But enjoy being in a state of being. And that's where you're gonna be in peace most of the time. You'll find that peace is here. It's always here. It's not that peace leaves us. We leave peace. Peace is here. Happiness is here. Joy is here. The most key important aspect I can tell you guys is with the lucid living experience is just my suggestion would be to live your life in the lucid state. Be as deep in consciousness. It gives you the most alert feeling. You're very highly alert. Your awareness, you're more aware of your surroundings, because when you are thinking, it's called selective perception, perspective. And then you start to see only the things that you are focusing on in your mind. You will start to see them in the apparent external world. I say apparent because we experience what we call the external world inside of our awareness. We don't actually know if it's there. It's really outside of us. Like a dream. The dream also seems out there, but it's really inside of awareness. Whether that's true or not, that's a mystery. But we can only go by what we know here and now. We can assume a lot of things, and I noticed a lot of people like to assume, they like to believe things. I think they like to conform, they like to feel like they're part of a group or something. They just want to feel like they're important, to have a meaning to their life. And this is all nonsense. You give meaning to your life. Why would you live a lie just to fit in? If everyone were banging their head on the wall, that was normal. Would you go bang your head on the wall just because you wanted to fit in? I surely wouldn't. You can do what you want. You can bang your head on the wall too if you like to. I'm not going to judge you. It's up to you. I'm not going to do that. Because I don't like to just follow the herd just because everybody else is doing it. Just because everybody else litters doesn't mean I have to litter. Just because people are dishonest doesn't mean I need to be dishonest. You know what is the most amazing thing about the law of attraction and parallel reality shifting? The most amazing thing, and I think the thing that a lot of people miss, is people are so focused on the receiving end. And people miss the whole point. If you take law of attraction all the way to become a total master of the law of attraction, it will turn you into a Buddha, because it will turn you into a really not a good person, an awakened, loving and compassionate, interdependent human being, because you realize giving is receiving. If I want respect, I gotta give respect. If I want friends, I need to be friendly. If I want love, I need to love others. If I want to be heard, I need to listen. And so on and so forth. If I want pleasure, I need to learn to give pleasure. But when you're on the receiving side of the stick, you create a lot of suffering, because if everyone's looking only to receive and no one's looking to give, there's going to be a lot of fights. But if everyone is looking to give what they want to receive. If I give you a smile and say good morning, there's a good chance, a very high chance, that I'll most likely get a smile back and a good morning back. And I say high chance only because I live in New York City. Here, sometimes people don't say good morning. But I don't judge people, because I don't know what's going on in their day. I have no idea what happened. I don't know what's going on, so who am I to judge? Literally, who am I to judge? I'm nothing. I'm nobody. Not a body, not a thing, just pure awareness. And I'm the same awareness that's in them. I can't judge. Why would I judge myself? So it teaches you to give what you want to receive. You want money, give money. Even if you have a little, give. I love this quote, and I have no idea who it's from. And it goes, "No one ever became poor from giving." That always strikes me so hard. It hits me so hard that no one ever becomes poor from giving. So knowing that, when I give full-heartedly. I have no worries. Like I say, no one ever became poor from giving. And you know what? I don't even care about the money coming back to me. The reaction I get when I help the homeless, when I give them a hug and I guide them, give them a few guiding advice about the now, about being present, about letting go of their past story and stuff. The reaction, the love that I feel connecting with humanity, that is the receiving. You probably guys heard me say I charge $100, basically $99 for a session. I decided to change that, and I decided to keep it to, it's $100, but you can give whatever you can afford. If you can't afford $100, that's fine. Because the money is for me to be able to do this full time. Because the more I'm able to make a living, because I'm a human being just like everybody else. Just because I'm a coach doesn't mean that I don't need to eat, and I'm still living in the monetary system. I have one foot in the matrix, one foot out. So I still need to eat. I still need to use money for now. We haven't built the monastery yet. It's here, it's now, it's in one of those possibilities, but we have to manifest it. When we have the monastery, we have like a village of awareness that's self-sustaining. We won't need money, and I wouldn't have to ask for money. I would give it all away for free. But right now, that's not the situation. Can we shift out of the situation? Sure we can. Sure. Nothing wrong with money, though. Money in of itself, the idea of money, is nothing wrong with it. It's only something that becomes a problem when we begin to think that money, this paper, is actually more valuable than the things that are actually valuable. Some people, they worship the money, which is only, it represents wealth. It's not actual wealth. Which is sad. That's when problems begin. People greed. They start getting greedy. But I feel like, we can still keep our monetary system, maybe just not on interest, but we can still keep our monetary system. And if we just realize who and what we truly are, and we learn to get out of our mind, learn to give our mind rest. I mean, if you really want to be sane, you gotta give your mind some rest. Too much of anything is not good. Then we'll be fine. Because then we'll be able to feel our connection to one another. But for that to happen, the mind needs to relax, to tap into the heart. So guys, you have the ability to access infinite possibilities. All possibilities are here. All possibilities are here. I'll tell you something that I discovered about myself. Something I realized. There's only one thing I truly know, and that's that I'm conscious of something. What that is, I don't know what that is. That's the only thing I do know. I know there are things that I don't know. And I also know there are things that I don't know that I don't know. And there's infinite stuff to learn. And don't worry about trying to get the wisdom or trying to study this stuff. Study yourself. Observe yourself. The wisdom comes from that. Study nature. Study your city. Wherever you're living. Just study, observe yourself and the apparent external world. Observe both. And observe the observer. Just observe whatever you can. Don't identify with it. Observe it. And the wisdom comes. Where do you think this stuff comes from? You think I read it somewhere? I have a call, guys. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Take care.